One cold winter evening, Akbar and Birbal were walking by a lake near the palace, the water black and still in the freezing air. And Akbar put his finger into it and pulled it out immediately, astonished at the cold. "I don't believe any man could stand in that water for an entire night," he said. "Not for any reward." Birbal looked at the lake thoughtfully and said, "I believe a desperate man could do many things, Your Majesty. Shall we find out?" Akbar agreed. 1,000 gold coins to any man who could stand in the lake from dusk until dawn. Birbal went looking and found a poor man, thin, ragged, his family without food, who heard the terms and agreed without hesitation, because 1,000 gold coins was the difference between his family's survival and something he could not afford to think about. That night, the poor man walked into the lake until the water reached his waist, and stood there as the temperature dropped and the hours passed and the cold settled into his bones like something permanent. The royal guards watched from the bank. The palace lights burned in the distance. The man stood, and dawn came. The next morning, he was brought before the emperor, shivering but standing, to claim his reward. Akbar looked at him with genuine respect. "How did you do it?" he asked. "How did you stand in that freezing water through an entire night?" The poor man answered simply and honestly, "Your Majesty, I could see a lamp burning in a palace window across the lake. I kept my eyes on it all night. It gave me something to hold on to." Akbar's expression changed. "Then I am afraid," he said, "that I cannot give you the reward. You survived the night with the help of the warmth from that lamp. The terms were to stand in the cold without any source of heat. You have not met the terms." The poor man looked at the emperor for a long moment and then turned and walked away. Because what else do you do when the most powerful man in the room has made up his mind and called it logic? He went to Birbal. The next morning, Birbal did not come to court. Akbar waited. An hour passed, then 2. He sent a messenger. The messenger returned with word that Birbal was cooking khichdi and would come to court when it was ready. More hours passed. Birbal did not come. Finally, Akbar decided to go to Birbal's house himself, which was, it must be said, not something emperors typically did. He found Birbal sitting very comfortably in his courtyard, beside a small fire made of a few twigs. And hanging from a branch high above the fire, a clay pot of khichdi, at least 5 feet from the flame. Akbar stared at it. The courtiers stared at it. Everyone looked at Birbal. Birbal looked up at them all with an expression of complete innocence. "Your Majesty, welcome. The khichdi will be ready shortly." Akbar could not contain himself. "Birbal, how will the khichdi cook if it is 5 feet from the fire? The heat cannot possibly reach it." Birbal looked at the pot, then at the emperor. "Your Majesty," he said, "if a man can be warmed all night by a lamp burning across a lake, surely a pot of khichdi can be cooked by a fire 5 feet below it." Akbar looked at the pot, and then at Birbal, and then at his own feet, and laughed. The poor man received his 1,000 gold coins before the end of that day. What I love most about this story is not the cleverness of the khichdi, though it is very clever, but the method Birbal chose to deliver his lesson. He did not argue, he did not petition, He did not stand in court and make speeches about justice and fairness and the rights of the poor. He cooked khichdi. He simply recreated the emperor's own logic in a form so visible, so physical, so impossible to ignore that Akbar could not look away from the absurdity of what he had done. The most powerful arguments, this story suggests, are not made with words at all. They are made with a pot of khichdi hanging from a branch 5 feet above a fire. I'll leave you with one question today. Where in your life is someone waiting for you to argue, when what the moment actually needs is a pot of khichdi? This has been The Long Thread. Ancient stories for the present moment. If this story stayed with you, follow the long thread and wake up to a new one tomorrow.